Hey everyone.
All right, everyone.
How's it going?
I'm here with the Northwest team. Ash, the team
Hello.
leader, and Simon is right-hand man. So
What's up,
today,
guys?
we're gonna be speaking to Simon. Obviously, he's travelled all over the world. He's gathered so much evidence and stuff like that. So I want you people to ask us some questions, ask Simon some questions, and then basically we're just going to chat about his experience, what he's got, and like his evidence, anything he's heard, anything he's seen, and stuff like that.
Cool.
So our website is live. So that's www.bfrtuk.co.uk. You can fill out a report form there if you've seen anything or heard anything. Get it filled out. It'll come straight or email. We'll get back to you with if you've got any pictures. That's even better. We'll get in touch with you, and once lockdown's over, we'll start an investigation. Send a team out for you.
This is
that's our website.
This is the website, yeah. And at the top, this is all articles you can watch. Going to be like pictures and stuff on there soon as well. There's a map which shows where the counters have been reported so far, and you click on report form. If you have seen anything unusual, you can fill the report form in. We get sent the report form when it loads. This is it, and then we can obviously then do an investigation based on the information in the report form. So that's a website that's live now. So go and check that one out.
Also, we've got our YouTube. We've got YouTube starting up, so our videos will be going onto YouTube as well. In case you missed any live videos and you want to see what we've been talking about today, or the one with me and Ash, anything that we'll record or document will be going on YouTube as well if we've got any evidence or anything like that. So we're just going to get started with Simon, really. So Simon, whereabouts have you been?
Well, I've been to a few different countries. The first ever expedition I went on was in 2012. That was into the Cascade Mountains in Washington, up there. I've been to Russia, Indonesia, Sumatra, the Philippines. So I've done quite a few different places. A few jungles and trying to gather information on these hominids. But yeah, it's been a great experience.
So what's your most compelling evidence you've found and where you found it?
I think the most compelling one would be Sumatra, the jungles there, where we found casts. Quite big casts of something. We were actually going for the Orang Pendek, which is the well-known one in Sumatra, which is they call it the Hobbit, which is like a smaller version of the Bigfoot. And we did find some tracks of the Orang Pendek, and we did do some casts, but that was more at the higher level of the mountain range. So we decided to go into the lower part of the jungle, and this is where we found these bigger casts. We were camping on the edge of the jungle because obviously, it's quite dangerous because you still have tigers roaming around there and that. So you don't go in there at night or anything like that. So we were finding new prints every single day as further and further we were going into the jungle. And it's not just like one print. There's quite a few. You can actually see the footsteps of this thing, and actually became it's like a kind of nest kind of thing where all the bamboo was all flattened. So we think this is obviously where it had been laid down, but that's whereabouts we got the biggest casts. But that's the most evidence I think we've ever got. So
yeah,
it was a good experience.
Obviously you were saying about the Orang Pendek there. Not many people know about it. So the footprints that you found, how big were they for the Orang Pendek?
Oh, the Orang Pendek. Oof. They were a lot smaller. I mean, I don't know. the ones that were the bigger prints, I think they were 18 to 18, 20 inches or something like that. So we're like more or less half the kind of that. And I think with the Iran Pandek, like the kind of thumb part of it is bent back further, so it's, you can tell the two different prints. The what they call this one in the lower region is the orangutan. Apparently, this is what we've been told, and they are more prints like the Sasquatch, Bigfoots in America. So you can tell by the two different prints which is Iran Pandek and what is the orangutan, and there's quite a big difference in the scale of the prints. So
Yeah, because obviously, for people who don't know, the Orang Pandek, all the reports are mainly anywhere from 3 foot to 4 foot. So it is quite small. And obviously, with Simon saying, like, the footprint's a lot different from standard Sasquatch. So it can't really be mixed up with, like, a human footprint, or can it?
no, I mean, the Iran Pandek, it's the place we went was called Kerinci, and it's an extinct volcano. So it takes about probably three hours to climb up the edge of the volcano and then down, like another 2 hours. And that's where you find some of the prints down there. And then you have to go in canoes to the other side, which is quite remote there. And that's where you find more the Iran Pendek prints. But in the lower part, that's where the orangutan prints were that we found. I mean, the actual place now where we found the prints was gone. It's we went back the year later and they were building like a dam for hydro, power stations.
No,
and stuff
no
like
way.
that. So, I don't believe how they got all the stuff down there to actually build it where it was, but that's all gone that now. So there is a valley that leads up to the extinct volcano. So what we're thinking is that they might have moved further into the valley, further up. So that's one we're looking at going back to probably in a year or two. So
Yeah. Hey, so you've been in America as well, haven't you?
yeah, I've been to the Cascades, like I said, Marble Creek, I think it was, where we did some investigation there. We did find prints there. Did some casting. We heard some vocalizations as well, and something
Nice.
like gorilla grunts kind of thing. I had a rock thrown at me from the other side of the river, which was pretty strange. And then at night time, I got awoken by a loud thudding, like a running sound, running through the camp, and it woke me up. And I knew it was bipedal the way it was running, and it was the thuds were that loud. You just knew it was something large. So I think that's probably the closest I've ever been to. Maybe it could have been like a Bigfoot kind of thing. So it's just information gathering. That's what you got to do. So I'm still 50-50 until we get the evidence. The DNA. I mean, it's like hair samples. We've gathered hair samples from Sumatra and other places in America. But the thing is, with the DNA, it can cost a few £1,000s for it just to be analysed. And I think that's why a lot of probably the local teams and things like that can't get them analysed to find out. So it's a strange thing that. So unfortunately, half the stuff doesn't get sorted. So,
Yeah. See, that's the thing as well with trying to get stuff analysed and that. People scream for DNA evidence of like these creatures, but some of the same people also believe it's paranormal. So how are you meant to get DNA from a paranormal like creature, like a ghost type of thing?
Yeah, well, it's impossible. That's what I mean. That's another thing that you find a lot, especially in America. You find Bigfoot. Usually, you usually see people see UFOs after or before a sighting or something like that. So there's quite a lot of people that connect Bigfoot and UFOs, but
Yeah,
I'm still not sure about that. But you know, if people are seeing the two things at once, maybe they do have something. You know, there's something in it.
definitely. Ash,
You know,
definitely. I think Ash's eyes lit up there when you said UFOs.
Yeah, well, in my research, I found that up to like 20% of Bigfoot sightings are actually accompanied by lights in the sky or other UFO event, and that's pretty huge when you look at them separately and look at them together. Like 20% of sightings are connected or coincide with a lights in the sky, and again, and reports like that go back hundreds of years, where like Native Americans reported seeing a moon. Basically, they reported seeing apes coming out of the moon above a forest. You think about obviously a couple of hundred years ago, they're not going to know what like there's no airplanes or anything like this. So their way of describing a craft, I guess, would be they said it was a moon in the sky and apes came from it. And that's probably their way of trying to explain a spaceship, basically. For me, like, obviously they've got no words for it apart from a moon because that's that's what's in the sky. And again, like a couple in Australia, there's one where a mother and daughter, and this is in the 70s, I think, and they saw a bright light, so they looked out the window, and they saw a object in the sky with a light coming down to the ground in the middle of the forest, like the house back onto a bit of land, and they saw three ape-like creatures running towards this forest where this light was, and then all of a sudden it all disappeared. The apes disappeared, the light disappeared, and the craft all disappeared, just like in the blink of a second. So, I mean, one thing we discussed on my podcast was could they be, because like there's quite a lot of sightings of Bigfoot with lights in the sky, could they be getting possibly abduction events as well? Like they take, like obviously humans have abduction events and contact events. Is there any, and there's obviously cattle mutilation and stuff like this. So would they possibly abduct Bigfoot? Like why wouldn't they? I suppose.
Like, it's a weird subject to talk about when you talk about Bigfoot, because there's so many different stories, like Native Americans thinking it's spiritual and stuff like that. But it all comes back to one point. No matter where in the world, thousands and thousands of years ago, there's been stories about these creatures. So
yeah. I
it's,
mean,
you know,
it's like where we went last year at Haida in Canada, an island there. We were talking to the investigation over there and talking to the Indian elders, and they 100% say it's real. It's been in there, you know, folklore. You know, it's been there for generations, hundreds of years. I think they even have them on the totem poles as well that they have there.
yeah,
So it goes back, you know, generations. So if there's something that far back and we're still seeing things, you know, there's got to be something in it.
it definitely
So
has to be something in it. Like, I mean, there's a lot of people in the group. Like, obviously, we don't ridicule anyone in the group at all. So there's a lot of people with different opinions. People think that it is paranormal. People think that it is linked to UFOs. People think it's flesh and blood. But I mean, we've got the freeway here. Like, you're 50-50, Simon. Ash is like
yeah,
investigating UFOs on a daily basis. And like, I believe it's flesh and blood. So like, we're not arguing or anything about it. But in other groups,
yeah,
I've seen people arguing about it. And I don't
yeah,
get why, if we're all trying to work together and try to find out if these creatures do exist, why try to argue about it? It's it just doesn't
Yeah,
make sense to me
no one
about
knows for
that.
sure what it is. So no one can say they're right because we don't know what it is. It's
well,
all
exactly. Yeah.
theories, it's all
Exactly.
thoughts and opinions. So yeah, no point in
To me,
arguing.
to me, if you can't disprove it or prove it, you know, you should be like open-minded. I think, and that's the way I look at things in a way. So I mean, even
Yeah.
some people that think that, you know, they can. The reason why no one really sees Bigfoot is that they can just disappear, you know, invisible kind of thing. I mean, I've heard that before, um, and I've heard about other things, portals and stuff like that, with being linked
Yeah.
to Bigfoot and stuff. So there's a wide range of things out there that people think. So you never know, do you? Yeah, you can't prove it. You can't disprove it, can you?
Exactly.
So it's one of those things.
Like I've spoken like a lot of people about it. It is. It's one of them things. I've spoken to a lot of people about it, and I can't remember who's told us this, but they're on about the fur of like a Bigfoot, that it might have like some camouflage technique or something like that. I think honestly, it's escaped who was talking about it, but they said like they found this like Bigfoot fur, and it was like a greenish color, and like it would like a camouflage technique or something like that.
Yeah.
And then you've got reports of them disappearing in like smoke and mist. So it's just a weird subject to talk about. I mean, we've got people in the group posting pictures and stuff like that. You've posted some pictures as well, Simon, of like footprint casts and stuff. But I just want to go back to what we're talking about in the last live video about the tree breaks and these sticks on the floor that people are being putting up. Oh, there, Charmaine. Charmaine was telling us about it, like about the camouflage of a fur and stuff like that. Like it's mental, like all this stuff about it. Like Charmaine's got a good like little encounter as well, and we're on about infrasound. Just before we go back onto the tree breaks and stuff, Charmaine was mentioning infrasound because people have reported when they've seen these creatures, they start feeling dizzy and like they don't feel themselves, they cannot move and stuff like that. So can they give out this low vocalization that we can't hear, but it affects us somehow? I mean, you've got reports of dogs like being dead skittish as well when they're meant to be around.
Yeah, I've heard of infrasound before. Yeah, apparently it's like a lot. Well, humans can't hear it, but it's that low. I think it's like vibration. So possibly that could be something to do with like poltergeist activity or stuff like that. Could be infrasound happening there in that area or whatever, moving stuff. You don't know.
And this comment's from Thomas Goodfellow.
So what's that? I can barely read this on my phone.
So Thomas Goodfellow says the colour and pigments would use light to throw off the eye's vision.
See, like, I mean, it's just weird. Like Thomas is one of our team leaders as well. He's got a lot of experience in the field and stuff. He's told with a lot of stuff that's happened to him. But it's just so, like, so many stuff, like the eyes and stuff like that. People saying the nocturnal. So they've got natural eye shine to them instead of you shining your torch and stuff like that. People are reported eye shine. And are you seeing any eye shine when you've been out?
I've never seen any eye shine. I mean, I've heard about people saying it, the red eyes, or some people have said black eyes, but I've never personally ever seen any eye shine or anything like that. The nearest I've come to it is something running through camp, which I can only think was probably a Bigfoot. That's what I think anyway. But no, I've never ever seen an eye shine. Well, thousands and hundreds of thousands of people have.
Thomas has said, yeah, white eyes. I've never like heard about white eyes. I've heard about like eye shine, which is like technically just light, basically. So that could be like a white eye type of thing. Simon said red eyes as well. I know the beast of Boreham Lake's been reported as a big hairy creature with red eyes. So I don't know enough about the creature, about the different colours of the eyes or anything like that. Like I couldn't really tell you. But I do want to talk about these tree breaks and the dick on the floor. That's
yeah. I mean, when I went to
so what do you think?
Bluff Creek, Oh, sorry.
Like,
When I went to
I
Bluff
want your.
Creek. Say again, sorry. You keep on breaking up.
Yeah. Go ahead.
All right. I'm just saying with tree breaks, I'm still not too thinking about that. I'm 50-50. I think tree breaks, they could be with storms, and with the way the wind can be coming in different directions, can be breaking them and twisting the actual branches, so it looks like something's been twisting it round. So for me, I think it's either storm damage or some of them
Yeah.
probably rotten. I mean, I can't obviously be 100%. I'm just going off personally what I think, but I'm still open-minded to it. I mean, when I went to Bluff Creek, there's a main part where you can easily get to where the Patterson film was. We went on the back way up the logging roads and down, and it was virtually a place where I don't think anyone had really been for years and years. And we found a big cross in the middle of this path, and they were quite big sticks, and a cross right in the middle of the path. Now, I think I've been told though as well that rangers and other people like that use crosses. Apparently, I think looking into it. So whether it's rangers or some other people, for hunting or whatever, I don't know. But I think that's one of the explanations for the when people find crosses and think it related to Bigfoot, because that's the first thing I thought straight away.
Yeah.
I'll have to try and find the photo that I got of it. But looking up on Google, apparently rangers use
Definitely.
it sometimes. So I'm still open-minded. You can't prove it, you can't disprove it. So you've got to have an open mind about everything, really. That's the way I think, anyway.
Like, it's this thing with tree breaks as well. When we're putting like pictures of tree breaks and stuff, they see like tree breaks from the floor to 7-8 feet. To me, it all depends what's around that tree that is broken. So if you've got several similar trees in that area, and that's the only one that's snapped, and it's like 7 foot high snap, that's a bit odd to me. Like, I mean, you've got to be quite tall and quite big to snap a tree 7 foot off the floor.
Yeah, that's what I mean. There's going to be a different.
But it's like the sticks on the floor as well.
Yeah. I think someone's just said there park rangers use big X's here in my location as a marker as well.
Like
so
the sticks on.
Yeah.
Right. See, like it's so like fuzzy the area we're trying to invest in. There's so many different stuff that I don't know. The stuff that we do sort of know, but we don't really know it. If you get me drift.
Yeah.
It's all about the evidence, trying to gather evidence and stuff like that. Like you got the footprint casts and stuff like that. Was there any dermal ridges or anything? Could you see any like mid-tarsal bend in the footprint cast?
Not on the ones that we did. It depends. Like with casting, it depends on the mixture you have and the the temperature as well. And like in the rainforest, it can be quite difficult to actually get the cast to actually set. So on the ones that we didn't get any dermal ridges. It was just like the toe prints and the actual footprint. We've never had any with the dermal ridges. It depends on how good you can get the plaster to set and how good the environment is around for you to do it. So it is. I mean, I've never done it personally, but watching people do it on the expeditions, it can be can be difficult sometimes, especially if it's wet in the forest. So,
Do you know what the best type of plaster is to use when you're trying to make casts?
I wouldn't have a clue. I've never actually done the actual casting myself. I think they were talking about they wish they'd used a certain plastic thing.
Yeah, you had your chance to be on Finding Bigfoot when out in the UK, didn't you?
Yeah, with Neil, yeah. I think I was going to Sumatra at the time, so I couldn't do it. I mean, I went to a conference in America with my partner, so I've met Cliff. I had a chat with Meldrum, Jeff, about the prints that we found. And I was talking to Cliff about the prints that we found of the orangutan in Sumatra. And he'd been getting some of the same prints off the same guide that we had. So, he's quite interested in that. Took us out for a lunch and everything. He's a real nice guy. So the conferences over there are really good to get more information and gathering evidence. So the reason I started all this, I always wanted to do stuff like this since I was a teenager. And you have the Monster Quest, all these documentaries and stuff on TV. So I thought, God, how'd you get into doing something like this?
Yeah.
So there was a guy called Adam Davis, who's a real good friend of mine now. And he's quite big in the America doing the stuff. So I found his name, just Googled it, emailed him, and it said, oh, can you help me, how'd you get into doing expeditions and stuff? And he said, where do you live? I said, I live in Stately Bridge, Manchester area. He said, I'm only 20 minutes away, because he lived over here then. So met up with him, spoke to him, got on really well, great friends and that, and we're friends ever since. And that's how I got onto my first expedition in 2012. And I've been doing it every year up until the COVID thing. So, I'm missing it.
That's nice.
So it just shows you anyone can do it, just by watching a documentary there and then finding the name of someone, emailing them, just getting some information off them. And that's how easy it is to get into doing something like that. If you want to do stuff, around the world kind of thing. So.
What's it like when you're actually in these forests and stuff? Obviously, when he mentioned that you could hear the footsteps in your tent. Obviously, it can be quite dangerous. What's it like just being in there?
Oh, it's amazing. Especially Sumatra. I've been there I think 5 times now. It's just an amazing place. Just seeing all the creatures and everything, and it's on the normal habitats, all the different monkeys, and obviously you had the tigers there. You could hear them in the mornings.
Wow.
One morning I had to stay in my tent because I had a load of monkeys around my tent.
Oh.
I can't remember what they were called, but and fireflies at night lighting up flying around you. It's just you could always tell what time it was, more or less, with the insects at night. So about 6 o'clock, this certain insect would start making a noise. So you could always more or less tell the time by just off this insect. It would start every night at this certain time. But the leeches, I hate leeches. They get absolutely everywhere. I think I'd only been the first time I went into the jungle 20 minutes in, and my leg was covered in blood on trousers.
Oh, gosh.
And the guy goes, "What have you done? Have you hurt yourself?" I said, "No." I said, "So I just rolled my trouser up. Leech. They're sucking on me." The thing is, you don't feel them biting in because they secrete like something, so you can't feel them biting into you. But leeches. I was ever there with my stick trying to whack them off because they get in everywhere, your boots and everything. So after like an 8 or 9 hour trek through the jungle, at the end of it, your feet are just all blooded. Just leeches in your boots and everything. The Philippines were the worst for that, but I hate leeches. Yeah. So, apart from that,
that's a side of it you don't really hear in the telly.
Yeah, it's an amazing place. So can't wait to get back. Hopefully, I think we're going back in a couple of years. Fingers crossed. Yeah.
So,
say.
what's your thoughts about? Nice. So, what's your thoughts about Sasquatch in the UK?
Me personally, well, I think, like again, you got to be open. I've got to be like 50-50. I mean, people, you got to investigate what people are seeing. I mean, if it is a Bigfoot? Is it something else? No, you just don't know. So, the only way you're going to find out is collecting information and doing it that way, doing it properly. Because, there's a lot of people out there that are seeing stuff and reporting it. So they've got to be seeing something. So, I'm just open to it. I mean, there's a lot of people like who I go on the expeditions with that think it's a load of rubbish in the UK. But I'm a guy, I'm just open-minded, get the evidence. If you can't prove it or disprove it, you got to be open. That's the way I look at everything. So that's the way I go about it. Information collecting, that's it. As Mickey froze.
That's what
I
we
think
need to do.
Oh, it is.
Obviously, with police stations all around the UK. I
I
don't know
can't
what's
really. Hey, you keep on cutting out.
but
Can you hear Ash what he's saying?
No, he's gone, I think.
He's gone.
I don't know what's going on.
Try and log out and come back in again.
With it today. It's never normally like this.
Yeah, but I mean, for me again, I think I'm quite open-minded again. I think with everything, like I said earlier, you can't prove or disprove it either way. So you can't say for sure. And like I say, it's the journey as well. Like everything UFO stuff, it's the journey. It's like if the world governments just tell us that yes, this has happened, this is true, we've got all this crash and bodies and everything. Like, oh, okay, we don't need to like fight for the truth anymore because we got it. Whereas part of the whole investigating is finding out what it is. I think, like I say, it's the journey. It's not always the result.
Exactly.
What we enjoy, what the best part of it is.
It's like on the expedition. It's not just that. It's going with your mates as well. Like you say, it's the journey. It's the experience. Things that you wouldn't usually see. So it's the whole thing altogether, which I love. I mean, I think on one expedition I went on, I think it was 9 flights altogether. I think that's just on one expedition to get to places. So in itself, that's an experience. And in the Philippines, I think I went on 8 there. I went from the A380, which is the biggest one, to a little crappy one that held about 3 people in it, going back over the jungle that I just hiked through. So, been on, and I hate flying. It's just one of those things.
Yeah. Oh, is Mickey back?
Yeah, I haven't got a clue what's going on. Yeah. So like I was saying just before, like it booted us out there. We're on about Sasquatch in the UK and stuff like that. We're trying to gather information. We've been trying to get in touch with police stations for Freedom of Information Act reports and stuff like that. Like I've been phoning up national parks in the northeast and stuff, but what we really need is a lot of the group to come forward, fill in reports and stuff like that on our website. So like it's so we can investigate, because like Simon said, he doesn't know, like he's 50-50, you know what I mean? Ash, you're the UFO guy, the tech guy and stuff. What's your views on it? What do you think about Sasquatch in the UK?
I think a lot of the reason people say it can't be because we're a small island, there's not that many open spaces. But I think though people don't realise that there is still a lot of open forests. There's caves. I can't remember who it was in the group was talking about cave systems. I think it might have been Thomas. Like you could literally go for miles in these cave systems that are underneath, like the Middle East, not the Middle East, the East Midlands. So like, there is a lot of land, and if you look at it from the more paranormal side of it, you think about whether things are interdimensional. There's so much that we don't know that you get these areas around the world that have a high degree of like paranormal, Bigfoot, UFOs, all seen in a similar location. And people say it's possible portal areas or gaps between dimensions where things can come through. It's something that we don't know, so we can't say it's definitely not that, and we can't say it definitely is, but it's just an option. And I think I am open-minded. I think there's something because, like I said, there's hundreds of reports of stuff being seen in the UK, and that's not all people just misidentifying a tree or shrubbery or something else. I think there's definitely something going on. That's why I wanted to do this, join this team, just to have a look into it and to see what we can find.
Yeah, like with the portal thing, I've got a couple of friends.
Like, I keep plugging the website because... Sorry, mate.
Oh, sorry. Right. I was just saying that you're going on about the portal things. I mean, I've got a couple of good friends who state while they were doing an expedition for Bigfoot, looking for Bigfoot, they saw a portal with some beings coming out. And they're not people that are likely to lie. You know, I trust them. You know, so when the person told me about it, he was quite upset about it, and I think the other person wouldn't even speak to anyone about it. So, and I think they even shot at it with the gun.
Wow.
So that's another weird thing. You know, portals and things. Is there anything related to that? I mean, even portals go back through generations. I think through tribals and things like that. If you look at the information, portals go back hundreds of years, thousands of years. So maybe there's might be something into it. You don't know.
I think we lost Mickey again.
As he froze.
Yeah, it goes back to again trying to.
Is he there?
I think he's breaking up again.
Hold on. Yeah, I think he's oh, he's gone again. Yeah, see if he comes back. But yeah, like you say about the portals, it's definitely, again, it's just something we don't know. There's, like I say, gone back years and years and generations, there's been reports, there's been people, even like we spoke to John Edmonds, who's the owner of Stardust Ranch in Utah, Arizona. And he talked about being portals above his ranch, and grey aliens have come out of it, and other cryptids have come out of this portal. People do laugh it off. But again, we don't know, and you can't say for sure whether it is or not. Yeah, we don't know really. There's a comment here. This is from
that's my other half. That I think
Angie. So Angie says, I'm Simon's partner, and I must admit, I used to think he's off his rocker. But since I've been to the Bigfoot conference and to the Pine Barrens in New Jersey and seen footprints for myself, I kind of kept an open mind. And all the guys I've met have been lovely. Just think the Brits have a stiff upper lip sometimes. Yeah, definitely. I think the whole COVID thing, there's a whole, it's not the normal, so I can't accept that it's something different.
Yeah. That's what I mean. I think it's, even my friends who do the expedition thing, no, they can't imagine something being over here. I mean, we've got to look at the information and like I say, gather it. I mean, how many like ancient forests are still over here? Maybe look, see if there's any correlation with like sightings around, more ancient forests in the UK. I don't know. Just trying to think up different kind of things so we can go out and gather the information. That's what
And
it's all about.
ley lines as well, all things like that all seem to connect to like these ancient structures and ancient folklore of things happening around, connected by the ley lines and stuff like this.
Yeah, well, the ley lines. I'm in a paranormal group as well, and I went to a place called Chingle Hall. Don't know if you've heard of it. It's in Preston, and that was supposed to be on a ley line. I think it's from the 1100 or something like that. It's got Oliver Cromwell's sword mark in the actual front door. It's that old.
Oh, cool.
So there's like a little moat around it. And I've been there 4 or 5 times, and you can actually hear static electricity snapping around you all the time. You can hear it snapping. So I'm just wondering, they say it's on a ley line, so maybe that's why. And I even saw a small little purple ball of lightning in the corner of one of the rooms, which I assume is just a build-up of static and then going off. But there's always something happening there. I mean, I heard a bell ringing in the morning. I think it was about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. And apparently, the monks used to pray there. They used to have priest hides, and they used to ring the bell for getting up for prayer. And we heard that in the morning. Other people heard chanting kind of thing. I didn't hear that, but I heard the bell. But yeah, ley lines are supposed to be pretty charged up. I mean, that might be another thing with people say like ball lightning. Could be, something with that. I mean, if that is the case with ley lines and like the static building up, what I saw, you could, that's what could probably charge up with the ball lightning that people see, in valleys and things like that. Maybe that's another thing.
Yeah, Abigail says there, regarding the portals, it could explain the infrasound or sound distortion. The change in the vibrations could be caused by seismic disturbances, which could cause, like you say about the ley lines, the build-up of static electricity. It could be like all connected in. Like there's frequencies and stuff like that we just don't know about, that we can't hear, we can't see. And there's lots of things that could explain what is happening. We just don't know. Like things that was paranormal 100 years ago are now just part of everyday life. There's no saying that in 50, 100 years time from now, everything we're talking about now could just be a normal part of life. We just haven't discovered it yet.
It's like Bigfoot. It's like the gorillas, isn't it? I mean, they weren't found. Was it 1930s or something like that, where they actually found them up in the mountains? So I mean, they were legend up until then. So there's still time for Bigfoot, Sasquatch, whatever. You don't know. That's what I mean. There's that many sightings all over the world of different hominids. So there's got to be something in it. It's just finding the information and the evidence, and that's basically what we've got to do. They all work together. That's what I mean. I see, especially in America, all different teams, Bigfoot teams. They're all fighting, bickering over it. We've got this evidence, and that's a load of rubbish. If you want to find the evidence, and that you should be all working together. You should be all on the same boat. To me, in a way.
Yeah, it's like that over here in the UFO community, because I was doing a big report on last year. So I was talking to all the different community groups and all the leaders of different groups, and the amount of infighting and we don't talk to them, or we don't share information with them. It's like, why? Like, it just doesn't make sense. We've all got the same sort of end goal, and like you say, you work together, you're gonna just do so much more work than if you'd have this all infighting and I don't talk to him attitude. It's like skill playground sometimes, and it just like we're fighting against the mainstream anyway, and about being ridiculed and all this stuff. And then we're then fighting with each other in the sub communities. It's like just doesn't make sense at all.
Yeah, nothing's ever going to do it. Have you heard of a guy called Steve Mera?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, right. He does quite a lot of paranormal and UFO stuff. Because I did a course years ago, a year's course in parapsychology with him, but he does quite a few ghost and UFO conferences and stuff like that. But yeah, it's just getting out there into the field when we can.
Yep. Yep,
Doing
and that's
that
the purpose of this group. And like I say, the website's up, so anyone who wants to have a look at the website, make a report. We'll follow up every report that gets sent to us. Anyone can remain anonymous if you do submit a report. You can email us as well if you don't want to put any names or anything. We never publish your name or anything unless you tell us we can. So yeah, I think that's it. Check out the website, BFRT-UK.co.uk. And thanks for watching. And thanks, Simon, for all your insights and sharing your stories. That's awesome.
Yeah, no problem. Anytime. Hopefully see you soon on when we get out.
Yeah, definitely. We're the Northwest team, so anyone around the Northwest, get in touch with us and we'll be out there. Cheers, guys. See you later.
All right. See you later. Cheers. Bye.